The massive screen in Earth Defense Command's main control room lit up with countless red dots. Admiral James Walker stood straight, his weathered hands clasped behind his back as he watched the approaching fleet. After 30 years of service, he had prepared for this moment his entire career, though he had hoped it would never come. "Sir, the objects have passed Jupiter's orbit," reported Officer Tom White, his fingers dancing across the holographic display. "Their speed is incredible, like nothing we've ever seen." Walker nodded, his gray eyes fixed on the screen. Humanity had unified its military forces a decade ago, sensing that they weren't alone in the vast expanse of space. Now, that preparation would be put to the test. "How many ships?" Walker asked, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. "Over 3,000 vessels, sir. The largest is approximately the size of Manhattan." The control room fell silent. Earth's combined fleet numbered only 500 ships, though they were the best humanity had ever built. Walker pressed a button on his command console, opening a channel to all Earth defense bases. "All stations, this is Admiral Walker. Begin Emergency Protocol Alpha. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." Across the planet, missile silos opened their heavy doors. Defense satellites activated their weapon systems, and underground bunkers prepared for possible evacuation scenarios. Humanity had learned from its violent past. They would face this threat united. The alien fleet slowed as it approached Mars, taking up positions that demonstrated clear military precision. A single ship, smaller than the others, but still impressive, broke formation and moved ahead of the fleet. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," announced Communications Officer Lisa Brown. It's in perfect English." Walker's eyebrows rose slightly. "Put it through." The main screen shifted to show a human face, a man in his 40s wearing a pristine white uniform adorned with gold symbols. His appearance caused murmurs of surprise throughout the control room. "Greetings, Earth," the man said, his accent neutral. "I am High Commander Marcus of the Galactic Empire. I represent the most advanced civilization in the known universe, comprising over 10,000 species across millions of worlds." Walker stepped forward. "This is Admiral James Walker of Earth Defense Command. Why do you appear human?" Marcus smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "I am human, Admiral. From a colony world that joined the Empire 3 centuries ago. We've been watching Earth for a long time, waiting for you to reach an acceptable level of development. That time has come. Watching us." Walker's voice carried a hint of steel. "For what purpose?" "To extend an invitation, of course. The Empire brings order, technology, and prosperity to all its member worlds. Your isolation ends today. Earth will join the Empire, and your people will finally take their place among the stars." Walker's jaw tightened. "And if we decline this invitation?" Marcus's smile faded. "That would be unwise. The Empire does not accept rejection. You have 24 hours to prepare your world leaders for integration. We will provide the necessary protocols for a smooth transition of power." "You seem very confident, Commander Marcus," Walker replied, keeping his voice level. "But you should know that Earth has never responded well to ultimatums." "This is not an ultimatum, Admiral. It is an inevitability. Look at our fleet. Compare it to your defenses. The Empire has never failed to integrate a world once contact has been made. Don't force us to demonstrate why." Walker stepped closer to the screen, his expression firm. "Then let me be clear, Commander. Earth is our home. We fought amongst ourselves for millennia, but we've learned from those struggles. We've unified not out of fear, but out of hope for a better future, a future we choose for ourselves." Marcus's expression hardened. "You have 24 hours. Choose wisely." The transmission cut off. Walker turned to his staff, who waited for his orders. "Send word to all nations. I want every defense system at full readiness, and get me a secure line to the World Council." As his crew rushed to comply, Walker looked back at the screen showing the Imperial fleet. Humanity had survived ice ages, natural disasters, and its own violent nature. They had clawed their way up from caves to the stars through sheer determination and ingenuity. No empire, no matter how vast, would take that independence away without a fight. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Anna Reed stared at her computer screen in disbelief. The data couldn't be wrong. She had checked it 7 times already. Around her, the secret research facility hummed with activity as scientists from every nation worked to understand the Empire's technology. Dr. Reed, a young researcher named Mike Peters, approached her desk. "You wanted to know when the analysis of the Empire's scan frequencies was complete." "Show me," she said, pushing away from her desk. The facility had been built 5 years ago to study unusual energy patterns in Earth's magnetic field. Now it might hold the key to humanity's survival. They walked to the main laboratory where a holographic display showed Earth, surrounded by swirling patterns of energy. "Look at this," Mike pointed to the display. "The Empire's scans pass right through these areas, but they're completely blind to anything inside these energy pockets." Anna's eyes widened. "Our magnetic field isn't just strong, it's unique. The way it interacts with our atmosphere." She typed rapidly on the nearest console. "That's why they never saw us developing quantum pulse technology or gravity manipulation. They literally couldn't see it." She grabbed her tablet and opened a secure channel to Earth Defense Command. Admiral Walker's face appeared on the screen. "Admiral, we found something crucial." "Make it quick, Doctor. The Empire's deadline is in 10 hours. Sir, Earth's magnetic field has been hiding our most advanced developments from Imperial scans. Their technology developed along completely different lines than ours. They rely on standardized systems, the same tech used across their entire empire. But we—" She paused, excitement clear in her voice. "We developed in isolation, taking paths they never imagined." Walker leaned forward. "Are you saying we have technologies they don't understand?" "Better than that. Their standardized scanning systems can't even detect our newest developments. The quantum pulse engines, the gravity shields, they're all invisible to them. They think we're decades behind because they can only see our older tech." The Admiral's expression changed as he understood the implications. "Can you prove this?" Anna nodded. "We just finished testing their scan frequencies against our defensive systems. They can't see half of what we can do. That's why they're so confident. They think they know exactly what they're dealing with." "What about their weapons?" Walker asked. "Their energy weapons are incredibly advanced, but they all operate on the same principles. If they can't detect our gravity shields, they won't be prepared for how their weapons interact with them." She paused. "Admiral, I think this is why Earth stayed independent so long. We're not just different, we're invisible." Walker was silent for a moment. "Keep working, Doctor. I want to know everything their systems can and can't detect." "And Dr. Reed," he looked directly at her, "don't share this information over any network. We don't know if they can intercept our communications." The screen went dark, and Anna turned to her team. "All right, everyone. We have 10 hours to map every blind spot in their scanning technology. Let's make them count." As her team rushed to work, Anna walked to the facility's observation window. Through layers of reinforced glass, she could see the Antarctic ice glowing under the aurora australis. The Empire thought they were dealing with a primitive world, one that would bow to their superior numbers and technology. They had no idea that Earth's isolation had become its greatest strength. She looked at the quantum pulse engine prototype floating in the test chamber. Its gravity-defying dance was beautiful, but more importantly, it was invisible to Imperial scans. Earth had developed in darkness, hidden from the Empire's watching eyes. Now that darkness would become their shield. "Mike," she called out, "get me everything we have on their communication systems. If they can't see our tech, they probably can't detect our newest encryption methods either." As her team gathered around, Anna allowed herself a small smile. The Empire had given Earth 24 hours to surrender. Instead, they had given humanity time to discover just how unique they really were. The 24-hour deadline passed without Earth's surrender. High Commander Marcus stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the blue planet with cold eyes. "Begin the attack," he ordered. "Show them the price of defiance." 1,000 Imperial warships moved forward, their weapons charging with brilliant purple energy. The attack began without warning. Beams of light struck Earth's atmosphere, targeting major cities and military installations. In Earth Defense Command, Admiral Walker watched calmly as the assault began. "Activate gravity shields," he ordered. "All stations, execute Defense Plan Delta." The Imperial weapons struck Earth's invisible defenses. Instead of devastating explosions, their energy beams twisted and bent, many shooting harmlessly into space. On his flagship, Marcus frowned. "What's happening?" "Unknown, sir," his tactical officer reported. "Our weapons are. They're being redirected. We're barely hitting anything." Walker allowed himself a small smile. Dr. Reed's discovery had proven correct. The Empire's standardized weapons couldn't properly interact with Earth's gravity shield technology. But he knew they couldn't celebrate yet. Even deflected shots that made it through were causing damage. "Launch countermeasures," Walker commanded. "Show them what Earth can do." From hidden silos around the planet, Earth's ships rose into space. They looked primitive compared to the Imperial vessels, but they carried technology the Empire had never seen. Quantum pulse engines gave them impossible maneuverability, while gravity weapons disrupted the Imperial ships' carefully arranged formations. Impossible. Marcus slammed his fist on his command console. Their ships shouldn't be capable of such movement. All ships, concentrate fire on their vessels. The space around Earth lit up with energy beams and explosions. Earth's smaller fleet danced between the Imperial shots, using gravity technology to pull enemy ships into each other's line of fire. Several Imperial vessels collided, their standardized shield systems failing against forces they weren't designed to handle. But the Empire's numbers began to tell. Despite their technological surprise, Earth's defenses couldn't stop everything. Energy beams pierced the gravity shields in places, striking cities below. London's financial district erupted in flames. Shanghai's harbor disappeared under clouds of smoke. Rio de Janeiro's coast was scared by Imperial fire. "Sir," Officer White called out to Walker, "New York and Moscow are reporting heavy damage. Paris has lost power, and Tokyo's defenses are failing." Walker's jaw tightened. "Launch the Fireflies." From Earth's orbit, thousands of tiny points of light emerged. The Imperial fleet's sensors barely registered them. They appeared to be nothing more than debris. But as they approached the Imperial ships, they activated. "High Commander," an Imperial officer shouted, "our engines are failing. Something is disrupting our power systems." The Fireflies, microscopic robots powered by quantum energy, were swarming the Imperial ships. They slipped through shield gaps and attached themselves to hull plating, interfering with the standardized power systems the Empire used across all its vessels. Marcus watched in horror as ship after ship lost power, their perfect formation dissolving into chaos. "Retreat," he ordered. "All ships, fall back beyond their weapons range." The Imperial fleet began to withdraw, but not before Earth's forces managed to capture 3 of their disabled ships. As the Empire retreated, Walker received a transmission from Dr. Reed. "Admiral, we did it. The Fireflies worked better than we hoped. We'll begin studying the captured ships immediately." "Good work, Doctor," Walker replied. "But we paid a heavy price. Millions are homeless, and our major cities are burning." "Sir," she hesitated, "the Empire will be back, won't they?" Walker looked at the tactical display, watching the Imperial fleet regroup near Mars. "Yes, but now they know we're not helpless. And next time, we'll be even better prepared." In his flagship, Marcus stared at the damage reports with disbelief. 1/5 of his fleet was either disabled or destroyed. Earth's primitive defenses should have crumbled instantly. Instead, they had revealed technology that shouldn't exist. He opened a channel to Imperial High Command. They needed to know. Earth wasn't just another primitive world to absorb. It was something entirely new, and far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. 3 days after the Empire's attack, Dr. Anna Reed stood inside the captured Imperial warship. The vessel's corridors were eerily silent, its systems dead after the Firefly attack. Teams of scientists moved through the ship, documenting everything they found. Dr. Reed. Mike called from the engine room. "You need to see this." Anna rushed down the corridor, her footsteps echoing on the metal floor. The engine room was massive, filled with machinery that seemed both advanced and strangely simple. Mike stood next to an open panel, holding a strange crystal device. "Look at this," he said, pointing to the crystal structure. "Every system in the ship connects to these crystals. They're identical. Same size, same pattern, same energy signature." Anna took the crystal, studying it carefully. They standardized everything, right down to the molecular level. "It's brilliant, but..." She paused, thinking. "It's also their biggest weakness." She tapped her communicator. "Get me Admiral Walker. Priority channel." Walker's face appeared on her tablet. He looked tired but alert. "What have you found, Doctor?" "Sir, we've cracked their biggest secret. The Empire's strength is also their greatest flaw. Every ship, every weapon, every system uses identical components. They mass-produce everything to a single standard." "How does this help us?" Walker asked. Anna smiled. "Because once you know how to beat one system, you can beat them all. Their shields all have the same frequencies. Their weapons all use the same energy patterns. It's like they're all using the same password." "Can we use this?" "Better than that," Anna replied. "We can build countermeasures that will work against their entire fleet." And she paused for effect. "We can adapt their technology to work with ours. Imagine their faster-than-light drives combined with our quantum engines." Walker's expression changed as he understood. "How long?" "Give me 2 weeks. We'll have something that will make them think twice about attacking Earth again." In the next 14 days, the Antarctic facility became a hive of activity. Scientists from every nation worked together, combining Earth's unique technology with adapted Imperial systems. They discovered that the Empire's standardization meant every piece of technology could be easily understood once you knew the basic principles. The breakthrough came on day 12. Anna's team successfully merged a quantum pulse engine with an Imperial power crystal. The resulting hybrid drive produced twice the power of either system alone, and Imperial sensors couldn't detect it at all. "It's beautiful," Mike said, watching the hybrid engine hover in the test chamber. "They spent centuries making everything the same. We spent centuries trying new things. Now we get the best of both." Anna nodded, checking the test results. Around them, other teams were creating new weapons, shields, and communication systems. Each one combined Earth's unconventional technology with Imperial power. "Admiral," Anna reported that evening, "we're ready for the first ship upgrade. The hybrid systems work better than we hoped. Our ships will be faster, stronger, and completely invisible to their standard scans." Walker studied the technical data on his screen. "How many ships can we upgrade?" "All of them, sir. The Empire's standardized technology is easy to reproduce once you understand it. We can mass-produce the hybrid systems within days." "Good work, Doctor. But we need more than just upgrades. The Empire will expect us to have studied their technology. We need something they won't see coming." Anna smiled. "Already working on it, sir. We found a way to turn their standardization against them. One signal, broadcast on their standard frequencies, could shut down every Imperial ship in range. Like the Fireflies, but bigger," Walker mused. "Much bigger. We can't just defend Earth anymore. Admiral, we need to show them that attacking us was their worst mistake." Walker was quiet for a moment. "Prepare the fleet for upgrades, And Dr. Reed, that signal you mentioned, make it strong enough to reach Mars. Anna understood. Earth wouldn't just defend itself. It would demonstrate its power in a way the Empire couldn't ignore. As she looked at the hybrid engine glowing with combined Earth and Imperial energy, she knew the next battle would be very different from the first. High Commander Marcus watched Earth from his flagship near Mars. Frustrated by the 2 weeks of silence, his fleet had regrouped, repaired their damaged ships, and prepared for a second overwhelming attack. But now his tactical officer called out in alarm. "Sir, multiple ships appearing out of nowhere. They weren't there a second ago." Marcus rushed to the view screen. Earth's fleet had somehow appeared between Mars and his forces. The ships looked different now, sleeker, with a strange blue-purple glow around their hulls. His sensors struggled to get clear readings. "Impossible," he muttered. "Our scans show nothing. How are they hiding their ships in plain sight?" Admiral Walker stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship, the Defiance. The ship hummed with the power of its new hybrid engines. Every vessel in Earth's fleet now carried Dr. Reed's upgrades, combining Earth's quantum technology with adapted Imperial systems. "All ships in position," Officer White reported. "The Empire's fleet is responding. They're moving to attack formation." Walker nodded. "Send the signal." A pulse of energy, invisible to normal sensors, rippled out from Earth's fleet. It carried a simple command, broadcast on the Empire's standardized frequencies. "Shutdown." On Marcus's flagship, screens went dark. Engines died. Emergency lights flickered on as backup systems fought against the shutdown command. Across his entire fleet, ships began to drift helplessly in space. "What's happening?" Marcus demanded. "Some kind of signal, sir. It's triggering emergency shutdowns across all systems. We can't stop it. Everything uses the same security protocols." Walker's voice came through the emergency channels. "This is Admiral Walker of Earth Defense Command. As you can see, we've made some improvements since our last meeting." The Earth fleet moved with impossible precision, surrounding the powerless Imperial ships. Their hybrid weapons charged, giving off that strange blue-purple glow that the Imperial sensors couldn't properly detect. "Your standardization made this possible," Walker continued. "One signal affects every ship. One weakness in all your systems. We could destroy your entire fleet right now." Marcus gripped his command chair. "Then why don't you?" "Because unlike you, we don't believe in unnecessary destruction. Look at your tactical display. The few systems still working. Notice anything interesting?" Marcus checked the screens. His eyes widened. Earth's ships had positioned themselves perfectly. Each Imperial vessel was targeted, but the firing solutions were precise. They could disable every ship without destroying them. A demonstration, Marcus realized. "Exactly." Walker's voice carried a hint of satisfaction. "We've had 2 weeks to study your technology, to combine it with ours. What you see is only the beginning of what we can do. Earth doesn't want war, Commander. But if you force one on us, you won't like the results." To prove his point, Walker gave another command. A single Earth ship fired its hybrid weapon at an unmanned Imperial probe. The beam twisted through space in impossible ways, guided by quantum fields. When it struck, the probe didn't explode. It simply came apart, each piece separated by precise gravitational forces. "That could have been any ship in your fleet," Walker said. "Instead, we'll give you power back. You have 1 hour to collect your disabled vessels and retreat beyond Neptune's orbit. After that, we'll consider any Imperial ship inside that boundary to be a hostile act." The shutdown signal stopped. Imperial ships slowly came back online. Marcus watched as his tactical display showed the full situation. Earth's fleet had complete control, and his sensors still couldn't properly detect their ships or weapons. "One more thing," Walker added. "That signal we used. It will work on any Imperial ship anywhere. Remember that before you consider another attack." As the Imperial fleet retreated, towing their disabled ships, Marcus composed his report to the Empire's High Command. How could he explain that Earth, a single isolated world, had not only stopped their attack, but turned the Empire's own technology against them? In Earth's orbit, Walker watched the Imperial ships leave. "Send word to Dr. Reed," he told his crew. "Tell her the demonstration was a complete success, and tell her to keep working. The Empire won't stay away forever." He looked at the hybrid systems powering his ship and smiled. Earth had just changed the rules of galactic warfare. The Empire would have to learn that standardization wasn't always an advantage. Sometimes, being different made you stronger. The Imperial diplomatic vessel approached Earth alone, its white hull gleaming in the sunlight. 1 week had passed since Earth's demonstration of power, and the Empire had finally responded, not with ships of war, but with their most skilled negotiator. Thomas Reed, Earth's chief diplomat, waited in the New Geneva Space Station's conference room. Through the window, he could see his homeworld, still bearing scars from the Imperial attack. Behind him stood Admiral Walker and Dr. Reed, there to provide military and technical expertise. The Imperial negotiator entered with 2 guards. She was tall, elegant, and clearly not human. Her blue-tinted skin and silver eyes marked her as one of the Empire's founding races. "I am High Negotiator Area," she announced. "I am here to discuss terms." "Terms?" Reed smiled politely. "I believe you misunderstand the situation. We're not here to negotiate our surrender." Area sat down gracefully. "The Empire does not seek your surrender anymore. We seek understanding. Your technology is unique. Your development, unprecedented. The Empire could benefit from Earth's innovation." "You mean you want to study us?" Dr. Reed spoke up. "To understand how we developed such different technologies." "Precisely." Area's silver eyes gleamed. "Join the Empire as equals. Share your advances, and we will share ours. Think of the possibilities." Reed placed a data crystal on the table. "Before we continue, you should watch this." A hologram appeared above the table, showing scenes from across the galaxy. Secret recordings of worlds where Imperial integration had gone wrong. Civilizations that had tried to maintain some independence, only to have their cultures slowly erased by Imperial standardization. "Where did you get this?" Area's composed facade cracked slightly. "We're not the only ones who develop differently," Reed explained. "We've been in contact with other resistant worlds. They'd been hiding their true capabilities, just like we did. Your standardized communication systems aren't as secure as you think." Walker stepped forward. "Every world you absorbed made the Empire stronger but less adaptable. You stopped innovating because it was easier to use the same technology everywhere. But some worlds chose to remain hidden, to develop in their own ways." "Impossible," Area whispered. "Our scans would have detected. Like they detected our quantum technology." Dr. Reed interrupted. "There are holes in your standardized systems, High Negotiator. Blind spots. And in those blind spots, worlds have been growing stronger." Reed continued. "Earth will not join the Empire. Instead, we're declaring ourselves a sanctuary for independent worlds. Any civilization that wants to maintain its unique culture and technology can find refuge in our solar system. The Empire will never allow this." Area stood up, her diplomatic mask falling away. "We bring order to chaos, unity to division. You bring stagnation." Reed cut in firmly. "You trade innovation for control. But humanity has learned that true strength comes from diversity, from trying new approaches, from learning from our differences." He pressed another crystal, showing the hybrid technology Earth had created. "Look what we accomplished in just 2 weeks by combining our different approaches. Imagine what could be achieved if every world was free to develop in its own way, then share their discoveries voluntarily." Area stared at the technical displays. "The Imperial High Command will see this as a threat." "No," Reed corrected. "They'll see it as a choice. Continue trying to force everyone to be the same, or accept that different paths can lead to greater achievements. Earth isn't declaring war. We're declaring independence. For ourselves and any others who want it. Walker added, and as we demonstrated last week, we can enforce this declaration. Arya looked at each of them in turn, then at the Earth floating peacefully behind them. Her people had believed that standardization was the key to galactic peace. But here was a world that had proved that diversity could be an advantage. I will convey your declaration to the Imperial High Command, she said finally. But be warned, not everyone will accept this change easily. Reed nodded. We know. That's why we're prepared to defend it. The age of enforced unity is over, High Negotiator. It's time for something new. As Arya left the station, Reed watched her ship depart. Earth had just challenged the fundamental principle of the Empire's power. Now they had to prepare for the real battle, not with weapons, but with ideas that could reshape the galaxy. 1 month after Earth's declaration of independence, the solar system had changed dramatically. A defensive network of hybrid-powered satellites formed a web around the outer planets, while ships from other independent worlds began arriving, seeking refuge from Imperial control. Admiral Walker stood in Earth Defense Command's observation deck, watching as a vessel from the Centauri colonies docked at the new diplomatic station. It was the 5th refugee ship this week. Another success, Thomas Reed said, joining him at the window. The Centauri colonies have been hiding their true technological level for decades. Their stealth systems are even more advanced than ours, and the Empire never knew. Just like they never saw our quantum technology. It seems we weren't the only ones developing in the shadows. Dr. Reed burst into the room, her tablet displaying urgent data. Admiral, Mr. Reed, you need to see this. Our long-range sensors are picking up something big. The main screen activated, showing the space beyond Neptune. A massive fleet of Imperial ships was gathering, larger than anything they'd seen before. But something was different about these vessels. They're not standardized, Dr. Reed explained. Look at the energy signatures. Every ship is unique. The Empire, they're learning. Reed smiled. So they chose adaptation over conflict. Interesting. A communication request came through on all channels. The face that appeared on screen wasn't High Commander Marcus or High Negotiator Arya. It was the Imperial High Command itself, represented by a council of diverse species. Earth, the lead counselor spoke, his aged voice carrying authority. Your declaration has forced us to confront an uncomfortable truth. The Empire's strength became its weakness. In pursuing perfect unity, we lost the power of diversity. Walker stepped forward. Have you come to war? No, another counselor answered. We've come to propose a new way. The Empire will no longer demand standardization. Instead, we offer a true alliance, one that celebrates our differences rather than erasing them. The refugee worlds, Reed asked cautiously, will be granted full independence if they wish it, the first counselor confirmed. But we hope they'll join us in building something new. Not an empire of conformity, but a federation of unique civilizations, each contributing their own innovations. Dr. Reed studied the readings from the Imperial fleet. Your ships, you're already implementing changes. Yes, a third counselor nodded. Once we accepted that different approaches could be valuable, our engineers began incorporating various technologies. The results have been remarkable. Walker exchanged looks with Reed and Dr. Reed. This was more than they'd hoped for, not just independence, but a complete shift in the Empire's fundamental philosophy, and Earth's role in this new federation. Reed asked, a founding member, if you accept. Your resistance showed us a better path. Many worlds are already asking to learn your methods of combining different technologies. In return, they offer their own unique developments. Walker stepped closer to the screen. And if we refuse, then the defensive boundary you've established will be respected, but we hope you won't. The galaxy needs Earth's innovation, just as Earth could benefit from truly free exchange with other worlds. Reed turned to his colleagues. Walker nodded slowly. Dr. Reed's eyes shone with excitement at the scientific possibilities. We accept, Reed announced, on one condition. The new Federation's first law must protect the right of every civilization to develop in its own way. Unity through diversity, not conformity. Agreed. The Council spoke in unison. The age of the Empire is over. The Galactic Federation begins today. As the transmission ended, Walker looked out at Earth. The planet's scars from the Imperial attack were healing, and new structures rose from the damaged cities, buildings that combined Earth architecture with technology from a dozen worlds. Not bad for a primitive planet that was supposed to surrender, he mused. Dr. Reed laughed. We didn't just change ourselves, we changed the galaxy. No, Reed corrected, watching ships from Earth and the former Empire begin to mingle in orbit. We showed them that change itself is the greatest strength of all. The sun rose over Earth's horizon, its light reflecting off vessels of all shapes and sizes. Each ship represented a different approach, a unique path of development. Together, they painted a picture of humanity's greatest victory, not the defeat of an enemy, but the birth of something new. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly the point.